All right, namaste, my witchlings. Welcome back to the Yoga Witch's Cauldron, that cozy space where breath becomes spell work, movement becomes meaning, and the sacred dances right alongside the everyday. Here, we don't separate the magic from the mundane. We stir them together like cream into coffee, like moonlight into water, until life itself tastes just a little more enchanted. Tonight, we're stirring gratitude into the brew. Not the shiny, Pinterest-perfect kind of gratitude that tells you to just be positive, but the deep, grounded kind that sits in your bones and hums quietly, even on those hard days. Our Sanskrit word of the week is Dhanyavad. Thank you. A word so simple it might slip past unnoticed if we weren't paying attention. But witchlings, like most true magic words, simplicity is where the power hides. In Sanskrit, Dhanya means blessed, fortunate, worthy of praise, and Vad means utterance, speech, or expression. So when we say Dhanyavad, we aren't just saying thanks. We are speaking blessing into being. Every time this word crosses your lips, you are shaping gratitude into sound. You're vibrating thankfulness into the air, weaving it through your breath like incense smoke curling towards the unseen. It's a spell of appreciation. Small, sincere, potent. So try it with me. Dhanyavad. Let it roll through your mouth, slow and sweet, and notice how your body feels when you say it. That warm little flicker just behind your heart, that is the spark of the spell igniting. This month's theme here in the cauldron is gratitude and reflection. A rather fitting energy for November as the year begins to draw inward, asking us to gather what we've learned and release what we've outgrown. And this week, our focus is the power of appreciation. We'll be exploring how thankfulness moves through our breath, our bodies, our magic, and our communities. Because gratitude isn't static. It's not just a thought or a bullet point in a journal. It is alive. It's kinetic. It wants to move through you, to flow out in words, in action, in service, in softness. And when we let gratitude move like that, it changes things. Not just in our own energy field, but in the collective web that we are all part of. Gratitude becomes a bridge between what we have and what we long for, between isolation and connection, between scarcity and abundance. So tonight, as we open our circle, we'll talk about what it really means to live gratitude, not just list it. And you know what? I goofed. We are closing our circle. We close our sacred circle. My brain doesn't always get this. All right, so we'll talk about what it really means to live gratitude, not just list it, to practice appreciation as a spiritual art form, one breath, one heartbeat, one kind word at a time. We'll call in the spirits of breath and embodiment. We'll whisper our thanks to the small, often unseen magics that keep us alive, the warmth of a mug in your hands, the steady rhythm of your own pulse, the way light lingers on a friend's face when they laugh. And we'll work a few quiet spells along the way, small, steady enchantments meant to reawaken your sense of wonder in the ordinary. So, take a breath with me now. As you inhale, you receive. Exhale, release. Inhale, receive. Exhale, release. Feel the air as it moves in, cool and full of possibility. Let it leave warm, soft, and sure. Each breath is a reminder. You are still here. You are still capable of wonder. That, witchling, is no small thing. With every inhale, receive the gifts this moment offers, even the quiet ones. The gentle light, the sound of your own heartbeat, the safe space you've created for yourself to listen and be. And with every exhale, release what's ready to go. The tension, expectation, the weight of should. Now, whisper the word again. Dhanyavad. Thank you. Say it to the breath itself, to your lungs for their devotion, to your body for showing up, to this very moment for existing at all. You can even place a hand over your heart and feel that warmth spread outward. Gratitude isn't something you have to force. It's something you remember. It was always there, waiting beneath the noise. When we pause to notice it, even for just one heartbeat, we shift our vibration. And that shift, that's alchemy. It is transformation in its gentlest form. So, as the cauldron begins to bubble and glow tonight, imagine that each breath you take stirs the potion. Slow, deliberate, sacred. Each exhale sends ripples through the brew, awakening gratitude in every direction for what was, for what is, and for what is still becoming. This is how we begin. Not with grand rituals or long lists of things that we should feel thankful for, but with one simple, honest breath, with one soft, whispered word, with one choice to see the beauty already here. And so, witchlings, the cauldron is open. May its light reflect the light in you. May its warmth remind you of your own hearth fire within. And may this hour or so together be a spell of gratitude. One we'll keep weaving long after the candles burn low. Now, settle in, my witchlings. Grab yourself something cozy. Grab your journal, your tea, your coffee, your favorite crystal, or maybe that one blanket that always feels like a hug. Tonight, we'll journey through the power of appreciation, how it heals, how it moves, how it connects us all. Take another breath, inhaling to receive, exhaling to release. Whisper once more for yourself and for the world. Dhanyavad. Thank you. Cauldron is open. Okay. All right. Here we go then, my friends. Friends. Oops. Oopsie. Talking to the man behind the curtain, my tech control. Please forgive us. All right, y'all. We're going to start tonight out with a little bit of a personal story here. My path to gratitude. Or with gratitude, I take it back. My path with gratitude started like so many things in my life with a book. It is called Simple Abundance. And if you were around in the late 90s, you probably remember it. That peach-colored cover with its promise of daily inspiration and a more peaceful life. Was not even my idea to read it. It came to me by way of my ex-husband's aunt. She was one of those women who radiated calm, like she had her own gravity field made of good tea and linen aprons, you know? She has this gentle, grounded energy, the kind that makes a house smell like bread even when nobody's baking, right? One holiday visit, I can't now remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas at her house. She had the book and she handed it to me, pressed it into my hands and said, "You are going to love this. It's about finding magic and gratitude in everyday life." And being me, of course, I opened the cover, saw that it started on January 1st, and I couldn't just open it and start reading. Oh, hell no. No. My neurospicy brain went, there are 365 essays in here starting on January 1st. clearly I must start on January 1st because we can't start halfway into the book. Because the ritual of beginning matters, doesn't it? New year, fresh start, clean slate. So I waited. And when that incredibly crisp morning finally came, I brewed my coffee, found a pen I actually liked, purple, sparkly, of course, this is me we're talking about, opened my journal, and began. At first, oh my God, it felt enchanted. Every page was a tiny reminder to look at life differently, to find wonder in folding laundry, gratitude in grocery runs, and beauty in all the little nothings that fill a day, right? I lit my candles, I wrote my lists, I even pressed little flowers and ticket stubs between the pages because I was determined I was going to live my gratitude. And for a while, I did. Until, of course, I didn't. ADHD brain. By Valentine's Day, I had slipped. Life crept back in, the very messy, unmagical, real kind of life. Kids, deadlines, dishes, drama, bullshit. The book went back onto the shelf, spine uncracked, past February. I promised myself I would try again someday. I did. I promised myself. And eventually I did. About 10, 12 years later. I can still remember walking into the bookstore kind of like it was a homecoming. I was on a mission. And there it was. Simple abundance, waiting oh so patiently, like a wise old friend who knew I'd be back when I was ready to listen. This time, I didn't stop at just the main book, Simple Abundance. I bought the entire collection, the follow-up guide, the gratitude journal, even the companion scrapbook, because I was all in, right? This is me we're talking. And for a while, I was luminous with gratitude. Every morning, I wrote my 3 things I was thankful for, still in sparkly purple pen. Every night, I whispered blessings before bed. I crafted, collaged, color-coded. I love color coding. And then, somewhere around my ex-husband and Munchkin's birthday, late June, it slipped again. Because that's life, right? But here's what changed this time. Here's what changed. Something just stuck. Even after the rituals had faded, the idea stayed with me that gratitude isn't about perfection. That was a huge, huge realization for me. Gratitude isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It doesn't matter if you skip a day or drop the habit for a few months. The practice isn't in the pages. It's in the pause. It's in that heartbeat where you stop long enough to go, oh, this moment, this breath, this is good. So these days, my gratitude ritual looks just a little bit different. No more grabbing fancy pens or scrapbooks spread across the kitchen table. Just a nap on my phone. Each night, before I crash out for the night, I open my gratitude journal app and type one simple sentence. Today, I am grateful for... And sometimes it's profound. I got good news from the doctor. Sometimes it's utterly ridiculous. The coffee didn't explode in the microwave. Yay me! And honestly, most nights, it's the same 3 things over and over and over again. I am grateful for my home. I am grateful for my loved ones. I am grateful for the life I have today. Because those are the constants, the quiet blessings that just hold everything else together. It doesn't have to be new to be meaningful. Some days, the gratitude is fireworks. Other days, it's just a simple, soft glow in the dark. But the energy, that heartbeat of thankfulness, that stays the same. And about a decade ago, shortly after I started back onto the simple abundance path, something much deeper clicked. I realized that despite everything I have survived, I wouldn't change a damn bit of it. And if you are familiar with my story, that probably sounds wild. Because there's been trauma, there's been loss, there has been grief that just carved me into new shapes. There were years, days, that I honestly didn't think I was going to make it out alive that night. But all of it forged me. I was forged in fire, tempered by trial, and reborn through resilience. For years, and I do mean years, I hated myself. And for years after that, I tried to fix myself. And then there were times, oh dear God, too many, I've lost count, when I tried to end myself. I am open about this. I don't hide it. Those were genuinely the hardest years of my life. The years when even the idea of gratitude felt like a cruel freaking joke. People would look at me and say, just count your blessings. And all I could think was, blessings? I'm still bleeding here. What blessings do I have? But healing has this way of sneaking in when you least expect it. There was one day, a few years back, could not tell you exactly when, the voice in my head that used to whisper, I hate you, on loop, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, just on loop, was just gone. Poof. Not softened, not quiet, gone. Just poof. And listen, trust me, there is never silence in my head. There are almost 30 of us in here, and there's always someone talking, singing, replaying a memory, or blasting a playlist and screaming along. It is never quiet. But even with all of that beautiful, noisy life inside me, that one very cruel, very hurtful voice had vanished. And in the space it left behind, something new started to rise. Gratitude. Not forced, not faked, just this deep, resonant hum that wove itself through all the other sounds. It didn't demand attention. It simply existed. No, she moved out. A frequency of peace I hadn't realized I had been tuning myself toward all along. I looked around at my life, the family I had created, both biological and non, the friends who love me as I am, and the work, oh my God, the work that had called me into service, the witch I had become, and I whispered, thank you. Not to the me of that moment, but to every version of me that had kept going. To the teenager who survived, to the brand new mom who held it together with duct tape and copious amounts of caffeine and nicotine, to the woman who rebuilt herself brick by stubborn brick out of ashes and hope. Because every breath, every scar, every failure, and there were plenty, was a thread in the fabric of this life. That was my Dhanyavad awakening, the day gratitude stopped being theory and became heartbeat. It was no longer something I did, you know? It became something I was. And that realization changed literally everything. Because when gratitude becomes part of your being, you stop needing life to be perfect before you can appreciate it. You start seeing beauty in the cracks, the kintsugi of your own becoming. You learn to thank even the storm for watering the seeds. That is when gratitude becomes alchemy. It turns every why me into thank you for showing me, for teaching me. It turns pain into purpose, survival into sacred story. Now, when I sit at my altar or on my mat or even just in traffic with the rain just pouring down, streaking down my windshield, I find myself whispering it again and again. Dhanyavad. Thank you for the breath. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you so much for the chance to begin again. Oh, excuse me. Gratitude doesn't erase the hard parts. It illuminates them. It does not mean pretending everything's fine and dandy. It means holding both truths at once. Two things can be true at the same time. This hurts like hell, and I'm still grateful to be here to feel it. So, if you're listening tonight and you've fallen off your own gratitude practice, maybe the journal is gathering dust or you've forgotten to light the candle, hear me, okay? You have not failed. You've just paused. And you can start again. You can start over right now with one breath. Inhale, receive. Exhale, release. And whisper softly, Dhanyavad. Because even this moment, this messy, beautiful, imperfect now is worthy of thanks. That was the spark of thanks. Let me try that again. I'm tripping over my tongue. That was the spark of thanks that lit my path, the ember that still burns in the heart of my practice. And from that ember, my witchlings, the fire of presence began to grow. Whoops. Next, we're going to talk about how that fire, that embodied gratitude, shows up beyond our personal stories in the real world spells of community and care. But for now, let's breathe. Breathe with me. Hand on your heart. Can you feel that beat? Maybe. I must be dead. Anyway, place a hand on your heart and feel it beating. That rhythm. That is gratitude. Alive, awake, and already enough. All right, my loves. Here is the thing about gratitude. It's not supposed to be grand. It's not perfectly curated journals with gold pens and washi tape. Most days, gratitude is messy. It's the burnt toast that still smells like your childhood kitchen. It's dogs singing loudly while you're trying to record a podcast. Don't know who that might be. It's that first sip of white coffee after a sleepless night when your brain finally goes, okay, maybe we can do this. Or, cracking open a nice fresh Dr. Pepper after teaching 3 classes back to back to back and thinking, you know what? That right there, that's some joy. Gratitude does not have to sparkle. It just has to exist, because gratitude lives in the small stuff, the ordinary, un-Instagrammable moments we rush past every single day. Those are the real portals. The soft click of a light switch when the power comes back after an outage. The smell of rain hitting hot pavement. Or your dog's tail thumping against the floor just because you walked into the room. The text from a friend that simply says, "Thinking of you." Those tiny moments, those are where appreciation takes root. When you start noticing them, gratitude stops being an intellectual exercise. It becomes embodied. It moves from the mind into the muscle. Your shoulders drop, your breath slows, your eyes soften. And somewhere deep in your nervous system, there's this quiet little exhale that says, we're safe, we're seen, we're enough. That right there is gratitude doing its job. It rewires your body's stress response. It's not toxic positivity. It's nervous system alchemy. Toxic positivity is worse than negativity, I will be honest. You are teaching yourself with gratitude that the world can still hold beauty even when everything feels chaotic AF. In yoga we call that prana, the life force that moves through every living thing. Every inhale is receiving, every exhale is offering. That's the rhythm of gratitude. The breath itself becomes an act of devotion. Each inhale says, I trust life enough to receive what it's offering. And each exhale says, and I give something back. That's the exchange. That's the conversation between you and the universe. So, try this right now, wherever you are, driving, walking, folding laundry, listening under a blanket, sitting on the back porch with a smoke. Just let's take a slow inhale. Imagine light filling you from the ground up, gold, soft, and steady. Let it move through your spine, your ribs, your throat. Now, exhale and whisper out loud if you can, thank you. Thank you. That's gratitude in motion. That is yoga off the mat. You don't need to hit a perfect asana to live your practice. You just need to breathe like you mean it. That breath, that's prayer. That awareness, that's spell work. In witchcraft, gratitude carries its own kind of magic. It's not always big rituals or full moon ceremonies. Sometimes it's the smallest gestures that shift energy the most. When I stir my morning coffee, here, when I stir my morning coffee clockwise, Deosil, and whisper Dhanyavad, thank you, that's a spell. That's me aligning the mundane with intention. When I snuff out a candle and say thank you, that's closure and release. It's saying this work is done, the energy can rest now. When I clean my altar, when I feed the dog, or when I brush the dog's fur or fold blankets straight out of the dryer, every single one of those moments is a prayer. It's me saying to the universe, I see this, I honor this, I am grateful to take part in the care of it. Appreciation is energy work in disguise. It doesn't need an audience, just needs presence. Think about it, think about it, think about it. Every witch, every yogi, every human being breathing right now is moving energy constantly. Our attention is our wand. Where we place it changes everything. So, when we choose to notice what's working, what's beautiful, what's worth keeping, we're not just being grateful. We're raising frequency. We're tending the energetic garden. I like to think of it this way. Gratitude is the compost of the soul. That sounds absolutely insane to say and to hear, but let me explain. Gratitude is the compost of the soul. It transforms what's been discarded into nourishment for what's still growing. Even the hard stuff, the heartbreaks, the lessons, the failures, they go into that compost heap. And from it, new life emerges. That's living appreciation. It's not pretending everything's fine. It's knowing that everything, even the not fine things, can become sacred when met with awareness. You guys have heard me say before, you see it on my coffee mug every day, as above, so below. Well, gratitude says, as within, so without. When we cultivate appreciation inside ourselves, it ripples outward into our relationships, our communities, our choices. We move differently in the world when we're living from thankfulness instead of fear. I want to say that again because that hits kind of hard. We move differently in the world when we're living from thankfulness instead of fear. It's the difference between rushing through the grocery store on autopilot and catching the moment someone smiles at you from the checkout line. Between muttering about rain and realizing the earth really needs this. Between scrolling through your feed and pausing just long enough to say, wow, someone really put a lot of thought and energy and love into that. That pause is power. That awareness is transformation. Every breath, every sip of coffee, every moment you choose to notice rather than numb, those are the moments when you step into your magic. You become the spell. You are the offering. So, maybe tonight, before you fall asleep, take one breath for gratitude. Not a list, not a ritual, just one honest moment of appreciation. Maybe it's for your pets, your heartbeat, the roof over your head, or the fact that you just made it through another day. Whatever it is, let it be enough. Because gratitude isn't about earning joy. It's about remembering that joy was already there, waiting for you to notice. That's yoga off the mat. That's witchcraft in action. That's the quiet, everyday miracle of living appreciation. Take one more breath with me, my witchlings. We're going to inhale to receive. Exhale to release. And whisper it one more time from your bones. Dhanyavad. And when we come back... Oh, sorry, I got distracted. When we come back again, we're going to talk about what happens when gratitude moves beyond the self. How appreciation becomes activism. How care becomes community magic. For now, just sit in that glow for a moment. Feel your heartbeat, steady and sure. That's the rhythm of gratitude. That's life saying thank you right back. Sorry about that. I thought I was back and I wasn't quite there. We're good though. All right. Whew. Let's widen our circle now, shall we? Gratitude doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not a solo act. It's a current. A living current that flows between us, through us, and around us. Every thank you we send out is a spark tossed into the web of connection. And that spark doesn't fade. It ripples outward, lights another and another, until the whole web begins to glow. That's how energy works. That's how we work. Think about the last time someone genuinely thanked you. Not out of habit, not as a reflex, but with full presence. Maybe they looked you in the eye. Maybe their voice softened just a little. And for a moment, you felt seen. Didn't it light you up inside? Didn't it make you want to pass that feeling on to someone else? That, my witchlings, is what I call the spiral of thanks, appreciation in motion. It's the sacred physics of gratitude. What we offer returns magnified. Not as obligation, but as resonance. Because gratitude isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. It moves outward through connection and then circles back richer, deeper, stronger. Every act of appreciation feeds the collective web. When we gather here, whether you're listening in your car, cooking dinner, journaling before bed, or stretching into your last forward fold, we're participating in that spiral. Your breath joins mine. Your heartbeat syncs with the rhythm of this moment. Your gratitude joins the covens. Together, we amplify the energy of enough. So tonight, take a breath and whisper it with me. Dhanyavad. Thank you for this community. Thank you for the familiar names that pop up in the comments or the chat here, for the folks who share episodes, send kind messages, or just hold space for others when the world feels heavy. Thank you for the unseen ones, the quiet listeners driving home late or walking dogs at dawn, or even crying softly into your tea, who still send out love into the web. Every single one of you is part of this circle. You are not alone in your gratitude. You are the living web of it. That's the beauty of this space, this coven of the sacred spiral. We don't just talk about magic here, we embody it. We live it through small acts of presence and kindness that ripple outward like candlelight shared from wick to wick. Every time you post something encouraging in the community chat, that's magic. Every time you share an episode or tag a friend because you thought they needed the message, that's spell work. Every time you show up for someone else or for yourself, that's a sacred offering. Each act is a golden thread woven into the larger tapestry we're creating together. Excuse me. And that tapestry, witchlings, is glowing. I see it. I see it in your messages, in your comments, in the way you guys care about each other and care for each other. You're building the kind of world we talk about in ritual, a world where appreciation fuels action, where kindness multiplies, where gratitude becomes a movement. When gratitude spirals outward like this, it transforms communities. It reminds us that magic isn't something we perform alone at our altars. It's something we co-create every time we choose compassion over criticism, presence over perfection, connection over competition. And listen, gratitude doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes it's fierce. Sometimes it's the witch standing up and saying, "Thank you for what you taught me. Now watch me rise." Sometimes it's the act of holding boundaries, of honoring your energy, of walking away from what drains your light so you can share it where it matters most. That's part of the spiral too. Because gratitude isn't submission, it's sovereignty. It's the awareness that we have power and that using it with integrity is its own form of thanks. So, as we breathe together tonight, let's send a wave of appreciation through the web for the healers and helpers, for the artists and advocates, for the exhausted parents and the hopeful beginners, for every single soul who keeps showing up, the tired, messy, imperfect, but still willing to try again and again and again. That's the magic of collective gratitude. It reminds us that even when we don't feel strong, someone else is holding the thread for us. And when they falter, we pick it up for them. That's community. That's coven. That's what it means to live inside the spiral. If gratitude has touched you this week, pay it forward. Send a message to someone who helped you. Leave a blessing in the comments or the chat. Smile at a stranger in line. Tip your barista just a little bit more. Tell someone, hey, I see you. That right there is spell work too. Every act of appreciation, no matter how small, keeps the current alive. And here's the secret. The more you give away, the more it grows. Because gratitude doesn't deplete, it multiplies. It's one of the few magics that creates infinite abundance just by being shared. So, take one more breath with me. Inhale, receive the collective love of this circle. Exhale, and offer your thanks back into it. Feel that pulse? That's the spiral of thanks moving through you. It's ancient, witchlings, older than language, older than spell books. It's the rhythm of hearts remembering they're connected. The knowing that gratitude is the thread that holds the whole web together. This right here, this gathering, this shared breath, this moment of thank you is the living proof that we are never alone. So tonight, as you drift back into your world, your kitchen, your car, your bed, carry this energy with you. Let it spiral outward. Let it charge the air around you. Because every time you live your gratitude out loud, you remind the world that magic is real and that love, appreciation, and kindness are the strongest spells we'll ever cast. Dhanyavad, witchlings. Thank you for being part of this spiral. Thank you for being part of this coven. Thank you for being a part of this world. Take one last deep breath with me, witchling. Let it fill your lungs with gold light, warm, radiant, alive. Feel it spread through your chest, expanding into your shoulders, your hands, the crown of your head. This is your light. It's always been there, quietly burning beneath everything you do. Now, exhale, slow and steady. Feel that light flow out through your fingertips, your heart, your words, your breath. Let it spill into the world like honey, soft, golden, and unstoppable. This is how we change things, not through grand gestures or viral moments, but through the daily practice of presence, through small, steady, sacred thank yous. Every time you whisper Dhanyavad, you're weaving light into the collective fabric. Each thank you adds another thread of gold to the world's tapestry. A reminder that goodness still exists, that kindness still matters, that we are still connected by invisible threads of care. So tonight, and every night after, let your gratitude be contagious. Let it ripple outward to your family, your coven, your community, to the cashier who smiled, the friend who checked in, the stranger who held the door. Let it travel beyond what you can see, because energy doesn't stop at skin. It moves, it multiplies, it finds its way home. Gratitude, like breath, is meant to circulate. It's meant to be shared. And every time we choose to notice something beautiful and name it and thank it, we help the collective remember what's worth saving. That's the secret of this practice. We don't do it because life is always easy. Oh, dear gods, no. We do it because gratitude reminds us that even in the hardest moments, there's still something that holds. Something that glows quietly beneath the ash. Something we can always return to. Breath, warmth, connection, love. So, if you can, place your hands over your heart right now. Feel the steady rhythm. That's the sound of gratitude made manifest. A living drum, keeping time with the heartbeat of the world. Each beat is an I am. Each exhale, a thank you. That's yoga. That's witchcraft. That's life. And now, as our circle begins to open for the night, I want to leave you with our moment of Zen to carry into the week ahead. The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. The Dalai Lama. So, water those roots, witchling, with your breath, with your awareness, with your simple, heartfelt thank yous. Because when you nourish appreciation, goodness grows in you, in me, in the spaces between us. It spreads like wildflowers across the worn places of the world, and together we become the gardeners. Before we part tonight, take one last grounding breath. You're going to inhale to receive, exhale to release, and whisper it softly as both prayer and promise. Dhanyavad. Thank you. I leave you with our closing blessing. May your heart remember the language of Dhanyavad, the sacred thank you whispered in every breath. May your gratitude move like light through the web, touching all it meets and circling back to you renewed. What you honor grows. What you appreciate becomes sacred. Spread love, spread joy, spread kindness. As above, so below. Namaste, Witchling. Thank you for showing up, for yourself, for this moment, for this community. Thank you for breathing with me, for holding space in the spiral of gratitude that binds us all. You, my dear witchlings, are part of the light that keeps this world from dimming. So go out and spread love, spread joy, and spread kindness, because there is already enough darkness in this world. Let's each be a light for those still finding their way home. And then always remember that you are loved, you are wanted, and you are needed. You have a reason for being here, even if you haven't figured it out yet. Blessed be, and namaste, my witchlings. I love you to bits.